So the transfer window is still in full bloom. I hope you're enjoying the top 5 videos. I can't be here every single day, but I can be here maybe once a week to discuss the stories that I have noticed and think are particularly interesting to Manchester United. So here's that, basically. The first thing is David Moyes has been in Sardinia watching Cagliari and Juventus play. There's lots of reasons he could have been there. He claims he was just on holiday and happened to go and watch that game, which obviously nobody believes. Or in fact, it's more that we don't want to believe that because we want to sign some quality players. Vidal was on show. Marquisio is the most likely person he was watching. A player who has only started 8 games out of 18 this season. He's been sat on the bench a lot. Good midfielder. And we'd really like him. However, he's sort of ruined that because he's come out and said that he doesn't want to leave Juventus. He doesn't see his future away from Juventus. He didn't even say that it was nice that other clubs were interested. He just went, I want to be at Juventus. Nonsense. So that sort of ruined that. But everybody says it, don't they? Because it's polite. It's a nice thing to say about a club you're at. I don't want to leave. Rise the fee a little bit. So we're not really sure. Also on show in that game was David Astori, who is a centre-back for Cagliari. Now, we do have some centre-backs, obviously, but Chris Smalling isn't performing incredibly well this season. Phil Jones plays in every position, not necessarily centre-back. Vidic and Ferdinand have both shown their age. Johnny Evans has probably been our only consistent centre-back this season. So it does make sense they'd be looking at a centre-back, and Astori is certainly one that we imagine David Moyes would like. So there is that. There's also Paul Pogba, who was on display for Juve. Would we want Pogba back? Yes, because he's really good, but his attitude is terrible and he only wants to play for money as far as we can work out. So talent-wise, we'd like him back, but as a person, probably not. He has been linked to City and us, hasn't really commented on that, but he does comment on being linked to Real Madrid, and massively, he loves the fact that he's linked to PSG. And why would anybody like to go to PSG? Not really sure. Great football side with a history and a tradition of doing well in European competitions, loads of pedigree. What else is there? All the money. All the money. So there's that. The next thing going on this week is Fabio Coentrao. Obviously, it looked like we were going to sign him in August last year, and that fell through on transfer deadline day. Didn't happen, and that was a loan then. Evra has been superb, but still no one really knows if Evra's going to stay or if he's going to go. It does look like he's going to go. And to be honest, I would rather we got Coentrao in than Leighton Baines, even though Leighton Baines has great Premier League pedigree. He's a bit older. Coentrao's only 25 years old. We've got Smalling, Jones, Evans, Raphael, all young blokes in our defence. It'd be nice for the defence to sort of be around the same age and progress together and play a few years. Whereas if you buy Baines in, if you bring Baines in now, in a couple of years you've got to get rid of him again and you're going to have the same other 3 defenders. So in my opinion, I like the idea of Coentrao, but we've no idea if it's going to happen. He hasn't played for Real Madrid since November, so would he even be match fit? Probably not. It would take him a while to settle and get used to the Premier League. So if we loaned him, which is what would probably happen this January, he'd play 6 months. How much would he play? Because Evra is doing very well. Probably not at all. Is it worth it? I have no idea. And Real Madrid have pointed out they don't need to sell. They don't need any money. So if they do sell, they're going to charge a lot, and they're looking for around 20 million. Is he worth that? No, of course he's not. What's the point? So difficult one, really difficult one. Also difficult, another thing, constantly linked to, but with no source for this at all, Ilkay Gundogan, who doesn't want him to play for Manchester United. Absolutely incredible. An amazing footballer, and he sort of solves all our problems, doesn't he? Because he's a brilliant midfielder. But he's never said he wants to leave Dortmund. Dortmund have never said they want to sell him. United, as far as we know, have never approached Dortmund for the player. So this is one that is sort of, for a journalist, it's really easy to go, well, United need a midfielder. He's a really good midfielder. We might as well just sort. There were some sources, spoke to a friend, and their family said they like the weather. And it's kind of nonsense. And Real Madrid have first refusal on him as part of the Dortmund-Real Madrid deal for Nuri Sahin. So even if we did go for him, Madrid have first dibs. Although Xabi Alonso has just signed a new contract to keep him at the club even longer. So would they want both of those players? Yeah, who wouldn't want both of those players? We certainly would. So there's no reason for them to say they wouldn't want him. So I think getting him would be very tricky. But we'd really like it to happen. But this is one that is nowhere, and certainly now Lewandowski is signed to Bayern Munich. They sold Goetze in the summer. They're not going to sell him in January, are they? Same as Marco Reus. If those players do leave, which I mean, for their careers, it's almost certain that they will, because Dortmund had a magical season last year in the last couple of years, but Bayern Munich are now the force in Germany. It looks like they will leave, but can't see Dortmund letting them go now. Another player we've been linked to is Ever Banega. He's a 25-year-old central midfielder at Valencia. He absolutely wants out. He doesn't want to stay at the club. He wants to go as soon as possible. But there's lots of talk that they would sell him to us for about 10 million and Hernandez, but with the fitness concerns over Rooney and Van Persie, why on earth would we do that? That would be insane. But we probably could still get him for just more money. Would we pay more money? Maybe not, maybe so. On his day, he can be the best midfielder on the planet like once a month, and that's why he's not really made it by the age of 25, because he's not consistent enough. Do we need more inconsistent players? Nani, Anderson, Fabio? Probably not. Also, but I like this, he seems completely insane. He once ran over his own foot, and he also once stopped at a petrol station to fill up his car, plugged the petrol pump in, filled up his car, didn't take this out, got back in the car, drove off. That sort of came with him. Petrol all over the place. Absolutely mental. Can't do that. Doesn't matter who you are, you can't get petrol everywhere, because that's dangerous. Yeah, so great player on his day, but we don't really want players that play on their day, we want players that play every day. So that's what I think. Anyway, let us know what you think. Write it down below. Get your little fingers working. Now, lot to talk about players leaving. Zaha possibly going out on loan. He absolutely should go out on loan, or we should play him. He shouldn't just be sat watching all the time. He definitely needs to be playing. He's 21 years old. He would be playing in the Premier League with Crystal Palace if he hadn't left them. I think most clubs would be playing him. So if Moyes doesn't want to play him, fine. I don't see him in training every day. Moyes is the manager. It's up to him. Loan him out. Get him playing. It's mad to have him sat on the bench. Anderson, at the time of recording, the Manchester Evening News has reported that Anderson has agreed a fee or a deal or signed something with Fiorentina to go and join them either on a loan or full-time. We don't actually know, as I say, because we're recording this now. How do I feel about that? Really sad. I love Anderson. I think I'm his biggest fan on the planet. He's absolutely awesome. Not as a footballer, obviously. If we take football away from the equation, awesome. Love him. As a footballer, obviously he's not good enough. He's just not. But if you think about Anderson's career, won loads of medals, good lad. Terrible against West Brom, terrible against Sunderland, terrible against any normal team. But throughout his career, he has had Steven Gerrard, Fabregas, Lampard, all big players in his back pocket on numerous occasions. So if we played them every week, he'd be awesome. But we don't, and he's not. He falls apart. Just noticed I'm getting so excited about Anderson that my mic's dropped off. I'll be the first person to get a Fiorentina shirt with his name on the back if he goes. It'd be a sad day. You need characters in football. I'm sure he is one. He seems one. Elsewhere, Fabio could be going to Cardiff. Wouldn't be a bad thing. He needs to play football. He's not really doing it for us. Although, it all comes down to, I think, Coentrao coming in, because Fabio is probably not quite good enough. He might be. Didn't really do it at QPR. I don't know why he would do it at Cardiff, other than he's inspired by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Who wouldn't be? Alexander Butner was never a Manchester United player. He's had a few good games. He puts in a good ball. But he's never going to be a Manchester United player. I mean, anyone can see that. But so if Coentrao comes in, fine. But if he doesn't, obviously we need some cover for Evra. Moyes seems to rate Butner. No idea why. He's just not good enough. He's so lazy at the back. It's unreal. Elsewhere, players that could be going. Nani has been linked to a loan move to Sporting Portugal. That's annoying, isn't it? Because in the summer, when we didn't spend any money, and someone said, hey Moyes, why didn't we spend any money? He said, well, we signed Nani for 5 more years. Big investment. Also, we're going to loan him out after 6 months. He's exactly as good as he's been all his career at Manchester United. Very inconsistent, sometimes very good, sometimes not really in the game. His form hasn't changed, so why now say, sign him for 5 years, oh no, ship him out? Doesn't make any sense in my head. I sort of think that's really poor. For no reason other than, why spend all that money and use that as a reason to say, we haven't signed players, we've kept Nani, now we're getting rid of Nani now. He's not changed as a player. He's still his own worst enemy because he gets in the way of himself. Finally, Nemanja Vidic. Apparently he doesn't want to sign an extension. His contract runs out in the summer. Lots of talk that he will leave. There has always been lots of talk of him going to somewhere like Italy or Spain because his wife wants a warmer climate. Now, I can appreciate at the age of 32 that he is past his best. However, Ferdinand surely has to go at the end of this season. And I think there needs to be a changing of the guard, but I don't think you can do everybody at the same time. And I think Vidic has got so much experience and he's got his leadership qualities are beyond question that I think he should stay for at least a year, even if he doesn't play a lot, but just to have around, come in occasionally. I don't think it matters if he's not always on the pitch, but he's our club captain for a reason, is that he's a born winner. And I think you need those characters in the dressing room. You can't get rid of them all at once. Because Ferdinand, when he goes, he will be a loss to the dressing room because he is a leader on the pitch. You see that. So I think he should stay for at least another year, even if he's not playing. That's my opinion. Guys, let us know what you think. Write it down below. It's really straightforward. Make sure you subscribe, comment. That would be awesome.